You scaled to 100,000 in less than 10 months as a new online coach. Bri, what do you do?
I am a business coach. I'm a business mentor, coach, strategist. One word cannot encompass all that I do. Specifically helping new aspiring online coaches build their businesses using the power of social media.
So take me through like the A to Z. Don't leave anything out here of how somebody can start an online coaching program.
So I always encourage people to figure out what is the intersection of your passion, what you love doing, because you're going to be doing it for a while, your skill set. So making sure you actually have experience and skills in the department that you're wanting to help people with. And then obviously listening from the market. So what is currently performing well? Are there people out there who actually need the solution that you provide? So once you find that, we call it your X factor. That's where you really find your aligned niche, one that is profitable and one that you really enjoy working with because you have direct experience in that. Once you identify that, it's important to do market research. So market research is like the foundation of everyone's business. And I see a lot of business coaches like skipping this. And it's something that is a non-negotiable when it comes to building a successful, profitable business. So we have a very comprehensive market research process that I teach from all different sources. My favorite source of getting that market research is directly from the mouths of our future clients. So we call them validation calls. You get on calls with these people who you want to work with and ask them specific questions about their experiences, their challenges, what they really desire, what has been working, not working. Why do they think that they are not at their goal, success, whatever that looks like for them? All of that information is not only really beautiful messaging for your marketing, but it also, you're able to take that and directly integrate it into the program that you're developing. So you don't want to build something that you think that they need. You need to build something that they tell you that they need, because that is what is ultimately going to sell like hotcakes. So once you have your market research, you start to develop your offer. And I'm big on high ticket offers when it comes to launching a coaching business because you're getting a higher ROI for the effort, energy, resources that you're putting in. Other things can work. There are many ways to get to success. However, what I've found in the beginning is you want to get paid for the work that you put in, right? And when you develop a high touch, high ticket offer, you're going to be able to sign a few clients a month and most likely exceed what you're currently making at your current job, depending on obviously what bracket you're in. After you have developed that offer, then we have a really mellow launch strategy where it's not this big 5-stage, 3-month process. It's ultimately inviting people that you've had conversations with. It's making those personal invitations, having those deep, genuine conversations with people who have shared that they're struggling with the problem that you solve and inviting them into the beta round. So we have a beta launch strategy, and that's exactly what we teach inside OCA, which is my program that I work with my clients with. And it works really freaking well because business is built on relationships and that will never go out of style. So we're big on building those genuine, authentic relationships with people because trust is the ultimate key factor when it comes to purchasing, especially in the high ticket space, which that's where I thrive. And yeah, so then we launch, you sign that first initial client base, you revise and refine your process, make sure that it's actually working and that you're delivering an exceptional 5-star experience to your clients. And then you market. You get into this routine of showing up consistently, delivering content to not only build your audience, but also nurture them through the buyer's process, that like sales psychology. There's different content that is required in order to do that. And then sell every single week, every day, if you can, on stories, mentioning your offer, building that offer awareness. And you get into this flow where you figure out what works, what doesn't work, what aligns with your energetic capacity. How do you like to show up? And then also obviously learning how to continue to show up in a way that is compelling and that converts your audience into paying clients. So that's the process that we teach. That was very quick, but it's a lot longer. And
I have more
more in
questions.
depth. Yeah.
So let's go back to the offer creation. No, let's go back to the market research. So I'm sure people come to you and they're asking, hey, I don't have any skills or I don't know what I'm going to be teaching. I don't know any of that. What are some of the steps that you actually take to ideation?
I love that question. So we have a set of exercises that kind of extract that information from them from their own personal experience, their past work experience, who they have helped in a paid container or just for free, friends. And then another really good indicator is if people are coming to you asking for help in a specific thing. Hey, I want to pick your brain, or can we get coffee? I'm curious about XYZ. That's an indicator. Oh, people are curious about what I've done in my own life. And now I can turn around and provide guidance and mentorship to other people. Now, the caveat is you have to have overcome something or achieved something, right? You can't just turn around and want to be a business coach if you have no business experience or if you don't have a business degree. Like, that is not what I recommend. You have to have direct experience with the problem that you solve or knowledge that you have acquired through a certification or degree in order to be qualified to work as the coach in whatever industry that you're in. So we have a process of, hey, let's figure out, what do other people see you as an expert in? So we do interviews for other people or other people, friends, family. Hey, I want to see me through your lens. Tell me what I don't see about myself. What do you think are my skills, experiences? What sets me apart? And you get all that information from other people that know you really well. And then you can see things that you don't even know about yourself, which also helps with confidence building. And it also helps you figure out, okay, so that's a direction that I can head. And then having a mentor be able to be a mirror back and provide that feedback and be a sounding board of, yeah, that's a shitty idea or that's a good idea. Let's pursue that. That's how you figure out like what type of coach that you could possibly be. There's coaches for freaking everything. It's insane.
Mhm.
If you have a problem, I bet you $1,000,000 I can find a coach to solve it. Even if it's like your plants are dying, I bet I can find a freaking plant coach out there. Believe it or not, they may be hopefully not selling a high ticket offer, but like I bet there's a course out there for. So yeah, that's the process that we go through. Typically, I do work with people who are certified. So they are certified health coaches, fitness coaches, mindset, spirituality, like all of the personal development space. And the certification gave them the skills and like confidence, but they have no idea how to run a business. And that's really where I come in. The people who are just getting started, who don't even know what type of coach, like I love working with them too, but it's a little bit longer of a process. The people who are already certified, they're like, I got the skills, I have the confidence, teach me how to freaking sign clients. Those are my favorite clients to work with because they already have the skill set. I know that they're going to do incredible things in their industry and they have the required like expertise to actually facilitate change. So now all I have to do is teach you how to freaking market and sell.
Love it. So we have our ideation done. We have our offer done based on our skill set. What tools are you using to get clients in, or let's just say, what tools are you using to gather the clients?
To gather the clients. So we're talking like marketing wise. So marketing tools, what I use to generate more leads and bring them in or convert
Not
them.
necessarily lead. Let's pull it back to, is there anything I need to have? Like, I have the content I'm going to create. I have the game plan on that. I have the idea. Now what? Do I use Instagram? Am I using, what's next?
Yeah, I definitely recommend leveraging one platform. I'm big on simplicity because oftentimes we overcomplicate the strategy, which means we don't even apply or execute the strategy. So make it super simple. Find one social media platform, preferably the one that your ideal client avatar uses the most, your ICA, because you don't want to be promoting to an audience that doesn't even fit the description of who you want to help. Now, typically, Instagram is that platform. They have what, 1 billion something in the bees. There's a lot of users on Instagram. So if you already use Instagram and you're like, oh, should I use TikTok or should I do YouTube? Like, just use Instagram. If you're already familiar with the platform, then I would definitely recommend just sticking with what you know and then start creating content that is relevant to the problem that you solve. People make it so freaking complicated. Even my clients, the questions that they have, I'm like, let's simplify this. It doesn't have to be some overcomplicated, super crazy strategic strategy. We boil everything down to having conversations with people, even using Instagram as like you're having a conversation with people. Just today on my stories, I talk to my audience as if it's one person in a room right across the table from me. And that's actually how people consume content. Typically, they're on their toilets, just them with their phone watching social media, right? So it's a very intimate experience that I think we just over dramatize and think, oh, it's so much and everyone's looking at me, when in reality, it's just you and that person. And making sure that you're creating content for that one person, because that means your messaging is going to speak directly to them, which makes it a lot more compelling, which leads to more conversion. So choose a platform, one platform, preferably that you already know how to use and one that your target audience uses as well, and start to share content and start those conversations. So that's an easy way of what is the next step. You have your offer, you did that market research, you're inviting those people you had calls with and conversations with into that first round, right? And then you start creating content rooted in your offer. Your offer is all the content that you would need. It tells you exactly what to talk about. You don't have to worry about sitting down and thinking like, what am I going to talk about today? Look at the offer that you provide for your clients. Look at the problem that you solve. What are the steps in order to get there? Talk about that. Educate your audience on how it shows up in their life, the symptoms that they're experiencing. Educate them on what to focus on. And then always make sure that you are selling and inviting them into the container to actually see that facilitation, that change transformation.
Break down that framework. And you just did a little bit, but I want to, so how are you posting, or what are you posting? Because I want to be that difficult client right now of not knowing what to post, right? And that's a big lever. What are you posting exactly? What is that framework? If you're in this category or you're doing this, what problems are they having? And how do you frame that to where it's in a funnel to funnel them to where I need them to be? What does that look like?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm just going to break down the buyer's process. It's not something that I have created. It's rooted in sales psychology. It's just marketing 101. It's a funnel, right? If you're looking at a funnel, the top of the funnel is the widest part. And that's where you need to focus on getting more traction, getting more eyes on your content. That's that visibility. So that's where the leads drop in. And then your content is designed to nurture them through the funnel to the point of conversion, which obviously it's a smaller point at the bottom of the triangle, right? So you're not going to convert all of the people that come into your pipeline. As marketing terms, it's just your audience or ecosystem, I call it. So your content is designed, again, to nurture them. And it's different types of content for each phase of that process. And I teach, you can find this all over my social media. I'm not gatekeeping on the strategy. Top of the funnel, I call it the inspiration bracket. It's inspiring. It's edutainment, educating and entertaining, edutainment content. It's designed to cast a wide net, also using specific keywords that target a specific person. Obviously, we want to make sure that we're always delivering content through the lens of our ICA. But with that being said, like, we're trying to get as many people as possible into our funnel, right? Then the next step of that is to educate them. Now we get to showcase our expertise. We get to provide value and utility to these people who have decided to follow us and come into our container. Now it's our job to provide some educational content so that they can start to see some progress on their own or some aha moments, shift their beliefs around certain ideas and perspectives. After that phase, then it's the authority-driven content. This is where okay, I have a problem. I am looking for a solution. Now, who do I want to choose? The authority section is really important in having them see you as the solution versus another coach. So this is where you can share testimonials, case studies, your own credibility, and your own experience. That's really powerful in that process because it positions you as the authority, right? That's the word of that phrase as well, or that stage as well, as authority. You're building authority. And that allows you to stand out from other people. And then finally, promotion. Obviously, we need to sell. So the last part of that triangle, the upside that funnel, is to actually convert them, motivate them to make a purchase decision through call to actions and more direct selling type of content. So that is the funnel. It's a simple process of attracting leads, nurturing leads, converting leads. Now, when it comes to what to actually post, that is rooted in your market research. That is rooted in those conversations, what they have told you, and then your methodology, your process of helping clients get from point A to point B. We call that your unique methodology. That's your program. That's the way in which you facilitate change. So those steps, those are the topics of your educational content. And it makes it really easy. Let's say you have 4 steps let's say you're a fitness coach, and to get them from point A to point B, you have a 4-step process. It's mindset, it's nutrition, it's strength training, and it's cardio. Okay. I'm whipping this out of my butt. Also, I was in the fitness space for 7 years, so I know. But okay, 4 steps, right? Now, every week, maybe you choose one pillar. So now you have 4 weeks worth of educational content. You could talk about the mindset and how important it is. You can talk about the next week. You can talk about the nutrition and how important it is to achieve the result, whether it's building muscle, losing weight, having a healthier relationship with food, whatever it is. Then the third week, you talk about strength training. The fourth week, you talk about cardio. So all of this ties back to your offer. And then in terms of the messaging, you just copy and paste what you heard on those calls. Chances are when you're having those validation calls, they're telling you, yeah, I struggle with nutrition. I don't know what to eat. I walk into the kitchen and I'm just scratching my head. Copy, paste. Have you ever walked into the kitchen and scratch your head around what to eat? Me too. Here's my experience, and here's how I'm going to teach you how to eat healthier. And if you want more help, deeper mentorship and support around this, send me a DM with kitchen and I'll send you more information. We make it so complicated when in reality, everything goes back to your offer. Everything goes back to what these people have told you that they want and that they're struggling with. I hope that was it's simple in my mind, but I don't know how complicated that came out of my mouth.
No, it is. And anytime anybody gets into something new, they're going to overcomplicate it. And that's why we have people like you who coach people on doing this stuff, because there's no lack of information.
Totally.
I'd rather go and pay somebody. This is something I've learned too over the years. In order to get from point A to point B in the quickest amount of time and in the most hassle-free way is to pay somebody who's walked the path. I'd rather have somebody hold my hand and get to me to point B from point A as quickly and as effortlessly as possible. And people want that hand holding. Let me say that right first. Hand holding. Yeah. And that's a big thing. And that's why coaching is so big too.
Yeah.
It's so easy. And it's crazy that it's been around for so long. It's just now becoming mainstream a lot more. So totally. I guess it's pushing everything out there. But no, I love it. I'm big on it. That's how I've gone through and made my money through my years, is I've always paid somebody who knows more than me to get me to. So
it collapses time. This is how I initially made my investment journey, because I was someone who grew up with a very scarcity mindset, a money hoarder. I never wanted to spend or invest. And I started reading all of these books on success, and I'm like, damn, everyone's saying you need to invest. And so I went through my own money healing journey and read more and reprogrammed my mind around my relationship with money. And that was what was the catalyst to me making that investment and then seeing that success very shortly after. So investing is a non-negotiable. And I say that, I know, as a coach who people invest in me, but I say that as a bigger picture type of vision, is if investing money monetarily, investing in yourself, investing your time and energy into yourself, building a business is challenging. It takes a lot of work and a lot of mentors and guidance and support, and you don't have to do it alone, which is why you want to align yourself with other people who have paved the way. There's no reason for you to do it on your own. That's not a badge of honor. You know what I mean? If you want to get 5 steps ahead, someone can teach you how to do that and avoid certain steps, right? That may cause more confusion or setbacks. So I'm a huge advocate of investing in yourself for sure.
So totally off topic here, but I think this would be good here. I'll give you a quick short backstory on me and what I'm doing now. And you're the perfect person to ask this to. So
I'm excited.
I started in real estate.
Okay.
From corporate America. Got bored, jumped into real estate. Luckily, I had a friend who was doing it and flipping houses. So I went and worked for him for a few years and then started my own real estate company. Did well, did that for a few years and then built a few other companies out underneath that. Got real burnout about 2 years ago, having multiple companies and a bunch of stuff go with business, and just happened. But times that by 3, and I was getting a little burnt. Actually 4. We had 4 small businesses going. And I was just a little burnt out. And then luckily I invested very well. And that's something I've always enjoyed, is investing, because I learned that through real estate.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have to work anymore. I didn't have to do what I did to get myself into business and the grind and the hustle that you have to do. So I ended up shutting down a few companies, kept a few going, and hired out some people to run it, the other ones. And essentially tried to retire, I guess I would say.
How old are you?
I'm 32 right now.
Oh, damn. I love it. I'm 32. I want to retire.
So, well, I don't advise it. if you're anything, and I can tell that you're a hustler, this is your life. You enjoy helping people and everything. And not working is not fun. I'd much
Yeah.
rather go through what I did than I'm going crazy. But anyway, that's why I have a podcast now. And I just knew I had to do something. So I just said, hey, podcast, I enjoy talking about investing. I enjoy talking to other business owners and what they do and how they did it. So I'm going to start a
Yeah.
podcast. That's how we're here. That's my short little story, right?
Love it.
So now I am itching to, and I'm either going to buy another business or start another business, but I'm doing something. I have to do business because that's just in my blood. I love it.
Yeah.
I just love the
Do it.
numbers. I love measuring. It's just what I do. So I have gone through consulting routes. I might do that. I might do business coaching, but I just don't want to do what everybody else does either. I want to have a niche and something that I can really talk to. I've been getting asked a lot about investing because there's a few things that I've gotten into. I don't know how to name that, but just not typical investing. It's through a lot of stuff through real estate, but also through with like angel investing as well, through small companies as well, that the mainstream doesn't have access to, right?
Mhm.
So I've thought about creating some kind of offer around that and then getting people to come through in whether that's raising money, starting a fund or doing something like that. But I love to create an offer around that. So I'm going to give you, hey, I'm good at investing through real estate. Let's just say real estate for simplicity here. How do I create that offer here? What are some things I need to be posting about? Do I need to start posting about results that I'm getting with my investments, or what would you say?
Yeah. So you would need to craft a statement. I call it like a sourcing statement because you have to do market research. I'm going to say, I don't know that industry well, but I know the fundamentals of building a business. So you need to figure out like, is this something people are willing to invest in? And then I would create like a credibility statement where you share in one very succinct sentence what you've been able to accomplish. And then follow it up with, I'm looking to connect with people who are wanting a similar result or wanting to do this too. I want to interview you. If you're willing to hop on a 15-minute call, let me know. That way you can hear more about what they're desiring, what they think that you do, what they want, where they are in their process and journey of getting to that place. I think that's like your best bet to figure out what people actually want and then just do a competitor analysis. Like who else is already doing this? Because I know that there are because I've seen them. So figuring out like what is already working, there's no reason for you to reinvent the wheel. Figure out who's doing well in this specific niche. Go to their website, stalk them, ethically stalk them. Don't do anything weird, but figure out like what is working, what are they charging, what does it include? And then that can help inform your process of developing the offer. So I think same process. You'd need to talk to the people, do the market research, go on to ChatGPT, give the ChatGPT your idea, figure out what is actually, possible. And then the people that you have conversations with in that market research phase, then you invite them in and say, okay, let's do it. I want you to be my first beta client. I'm going to help you do X, Y, and Z. Pay me this much like per month or for a 6-month container or per result, or give me a percentage of whatever. I don't know what the pricing structure looks like. But yeah, I think that is a obvious viable idea because other people are already doing it. And it's the ROI and like the long-term wealth that can be created in that is just huge. So
Yeah,
kudos to you.
yeah, it's not instant, and that's a lot of thing is, and that's the pricing is the way I've been confused on how I'm going to do that. But I can come show you exactly what it is to become a millionaire, but
Yeah.
it's not going to happen in the next 6 months. This is compounding interest, and it's going to happen over that. You still need your active income and things like
Right.
that too.
And it's your job to educate people on that. It's your
Yeah.
job to set the expectation within your marketing so that they know and there's no like smoke and mirrors or people who are pissed off for not seeing a direct ROI. That's something in my marketing too. I try to be as transparent as possible. And especially right now with all of these manipulative marketers with huge ad budgets, they are promising the world and then failing to deliver. So in the coaching space, transparency and authenticity is going to always win. And I try to be as honest as possible with people like, hey, this is not a get rich quick scheme. Okay. It's going to require you to show up and put in the work. And yes, I show people what's possible. I travel all the time and I take my business everywhere. And obviously, I've had back-to-back six-figure years and I bought my own house. And it's important, top of funnel content, right? To draw people in of, hey, here's what's possible. That's what's called embodiment type of content, aspirational content, which is really powerful and inspiring. And then once they're in my space, then I can say, okay, but wait, it's important for you to know these are the things. It's like a disclaimer. And this is all free content. This is all like part of my content strategies. I'm going to bring you in. I want to show you what's possible because that's typically what gets people's ears perked and, okay, that sounds cool. I want to learn more. And then I can say, okay, now here's what you need to expect when it comes to being a successful online coach and actually being in the game long term. Because most coaches quit their business within 3 years. 80%. 80%. It's crazy. Anyway, so yeah, that's what I would recommend for you. And the content that you post is just going to be educational, sharing your own experience, sharing your numbers, showing them what's possible, because that's huge. That is a huge motivator for people to make purchasing decisions, is being inspired, but then also making sure that they know what they're buying into.
Good to know that. So I'll ask you this because this is something I've been dabbling with as well on that. When you do your market research, do you know your avatar on who you're going after? Do you want to go after the masses or do you want to go after a niche portion of people?
That is a great question. When you do market research, you want to be a little bit wider, a little bit more broad, because when you throw out that net of a wider net, then you're going to talk to a bunch of different people who want a similar type of result. You want to make sure you're not like, hey, a fitness and then like fucking business, right? You wanted to make sure that it's similar in terms of the result that they're desiring, in terms of the problem that they're experiencing, the phase that they're in. I would recommend talking to a bunch of different types of people that all want a similar result. And that way you can clarify and distill down the information that you gather to choose, okay, would not want to work with that person. That person's crazy. This is not going to work for me in terms of personality wise, or I don't think I can serve them at all. And then this person, yeah, I feel confident that I can help them. And they seem pretty cool. They have the money to invest. And this is a viable direction. And that's how you figure out more like specifically what your niche is through that market research, because that's going to be so revealing to you.
Okay. And asking that question. Can you go too large? Let me give you a scenario. Or I'm sorry, not too large, but too narrow on that end. Back to my investing side. This thought was provoked because I had a coach, actually, an education coach. He just put out great content. And I was like, I just want to learn from him. He's doing what I want to do as a consultant. And we were talking one day and he told me about a problem he had was he's making all this money now and he doesn't know how to invest or what to do with his money. And I was like, that's a great problem. And that's a very high ticket problem. Love to be able to solve that. But am I shooting too high for where I'm at? That's my question right now. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't know the industry. Aren't there literal people who are licensed to do that?
Yes, but we run circles around what we make versus what your traditional wealth advisor is going to tell you. And
Okay.
There's wealth advisors who do that and tell you, hey, here's an opportunity. Or honestly, they just tell you to go, hey, place this in the stock market. What we do is, hey, we have relationships with developers and things in large cities where we make double-digit returns on our money that we have. And it's an ever-evolving thing. So we're making twice as much by doing something, and you don't have to pay anybody to do it. But that's my thing.
Number one is make sure that it's ethical and legal. If you're able to operate like that in business and give that advice and direction and it's legal, then 1,000,000%. And that's your angle. You can totally say, this is not who we are. And here's what we can promise, or legally, you have to be really careful with the words that you use specifically in the financial industry. And I would look up all of that shit before you decide to go ham in the marketing. I've worked with money coaches in the past and you're limited on what you can say. So if you have green lights in all that department, then I think it would be a great opportunity for you to have a very unique approach when it comes to investing and targeting those people at that level who you have intimate relationships with. That's where relationships come back into play because especially in the money industry, there's a lot of manipulation, there's a lot of taking advantage of. So the trust factor is going to be even more important. But there's no reason why you can't build a massively successful business here in this offer through just conversations. That's where I see your growth coming from, not your marketing bringing people in. Maybe, yes, it's a good tool for educating people, but the back end conversations, the networking, the rooms that you put yourself in, that is what is ultimately going to help you grow this idea because that's going to be such a high caliber, high ticket type of person that they're going to want to sit down and break bread with you and have a glass of whiskey and a cigar. You know what I mean? So that's my recommendation. Again, I don't know the industry. I don't know it well enough, but if I would guess, that's what the route to success would be.
Good to know that. My wheels are turning here too, and I'm taking notes over here. So I'm going to have
I
to do
love
some
it.
a bit
I'll
more
send you
research.
an invoice for my coaching session.
We haven't touched on personal brand at all. Let's go into that a little bit. So how do you build a personal brand?
Yes, I love this. So as a coach specifically, you're selling you, like people are going to work with you in an intimate container setting. So building a personal brand is a non-negotiable because people need to know you, they need to like you, they need to trust you. The no lack trust factor, especially in the high ticket space, especially in the coaching space, where people are coming to you in the most vulnerable place where they are struggling significantly, whether it's with their finances, relationship, health, whatever it is, they're struggling. So it's important for you to build that trust through developing a personal brand, personal being the key word. There is a fad right now going on about faceless marketing, and people are jumping on this bandwagon. And I'm like, I'm the anti face marketing. Yeah, I don't know how that works. It's like a double negative. That I feel like is good for low ticket offers and products. I think that is a good way to sell something that doesn't require an emotional decision when you make a purchase, because we can spend money without even thinking about it, like a $37 XYZ, right? Okay, yeah, that's fine. That's a drop in the bucket. But when you're selling high ticket, people, especially right now in the online space where the economic climate is being really weird and squirrely, and AI has taken over the online space. So everything is really just ChatGPT, copy and paste all over the place. These manipulative marketers that I was mentioning, buyer hesitancy is at an all-time high right now. People are holding on to their money a little bit more tightly than maybe in 2020. 2020, we all saw massive success. Like it was wild because it's like the Wild West out there in the online space. So back to building a personal brand, developing that no like trust factor, developing a relationship with these people through your phone, through the social media platform that you use is a non-negotiable. And I see so often people resist this because they are afraid to be seen. They're afraid of judgment, criticism. They're afraid to be seen as incompetent or stupid or make a mistake. And I'm like, once you get rid of that, you are set free. Then you can show up unapologetically sharing your mission. Because ultimately, as coaches, we all have a deeper mission to create some massive change in the world. I guess that's dramatic, but it's the freaking truth. Like we are change makers in the coaching space. In order for you to make a change, you have to use your voice to spread your mission, which is scary. And it's like public speaking is a huge, like the number one fear for most people. And when you take your phone and you go live on Instagram, it evokes all of those same emotions and self-doubt as if you stood on stage. So I understand why people are so resistant, but I also truly believe in my soul it's a ticket into the arena of success. You need to get over your fear of being seen and get over yourself because you are often the biggest barrier in your journey and start to share the truth of what you know. Because if you are not sharing and unapologetically spreading your message, you're like robbing people of a potential transformation. That's the way that you reach these people that you want to help. Sorry, on a tangent. I told you I'd do tangents. Back to building a personal brand. How do you do this? We talked about the buyer's process. We talked about the different phases to build an audience. Video marketing is always going to be the best way to build the no like trust factor. And it can be as simple as a 3-minute rant after a client conversation or after a conversation in the DMs or something that you read in a book related to the problem that you solve. We always want to tie it back to that. And you go record yourself on your phone and you just like share, just stream of consciousness, what you're thinking, what you're feeling. something that you don't agree with in an industry. That would definitely be categorized more of like the authority content that I was mentioning earlier. Your polarizing opinions, your perspective over things, that is what will separate you from everyone else who is copy and pasting ChatGPT captions. And I see it all the freaking time. It is insane. And you're going to get looked over if you don't connect with your audience and you connect with them through your face. Like, we're humans. We're craving connection. We're craving authenticity and intimacy and vulnerability. That's what we all want as human beings. It's in our DNA. So the more that you can lean into that and start unapologetically sharing who you are, what you believe in your industry, and inviting them to work with you, that is how you are going to see the most success. There's not this specific step-by-step strategy of building a personal brand. It's okay, you are the person. Start talking. That's pretty much it. And there's
You're gonna
also
try.
lots of different things that I teach. That's like a high-level version of building a personal brand. But it's oftentimes a belief issue why people don't get started.
Man, we're over time here. I wanted to ask before I kept going here. Do you have a hard stop at all? I got
No.
2 questions. You're good. Okay,
Yep.
keep going. We'll take that out. What tips do you have for a new entrepreneur to stand out any kind of? Let me rephrase that one. What tips do you have for a new entrepreneur to stand out in the industry?
Be yourself. Oh, and I know it sounds like so cringy. Oh my gosh, my mom's been telling me that since high school. But it's really true. That's your secret sauce. No one's like you. There's 7 billion people in the world? I don't know what the number is, but
Close enough.
no one is exactly like you. And discovering who you are is going to be the key to actually being able to present that online. Because if you don't know who you are, you don't know what you like, you don't know what you stand for, you're just going to be a carbon copy of everyone else. And I know this from experience. Before, when I launched my coaching business, like, I'm really good at community building. I'm really good at relationship building. I run a networking community here in Sacramento. Like, we host events all the time. However, when I got into the business coaching space, I was just regurgitating information that I learned from other people. And I always knew I need to have my own opinions and perspectives, but I don't know what I believe in yet in this space. So it took some maturing of the industry, maturing of my own entrepreneurial journey to realize what I stand for. And it's rooted in my values. That's why it's important. This goes back to the simple, what is your mission, vision, values when it comes to building a business? But I realize how important it is. Once you have a mission, that's going to drive your actions. That's really going to motivate you to continue showing up. When you know your values, then your content can be a little bit more potent. It can be a little bit more like edgy because you have values and you're willing to stand up for them. And then having a vision that allows other people to buy into where you're going and buy into the ultimate vision of what you're doing and why you're showing up and why they should work with you and be a part of the vision. It's very elementary, if you will, but it's stayed through time historically because it matters and it's really important. I don't know if I answered the question though.
No, you did. You did. What are you seeing is, keep wanting to ask like multiple questions at once. I need to think what I'm going to say here.
Okay.
You've got my mind spinning here too, which is good. What characteristics are you seeing successful clients have?
I love this question. It is definitely resiliency and action. Like someone who is not afraid to fail, who understands that failure is a part of the freaking game and that those failures and setbacks and challenges are ultimately the best way that you learn because you use those things to continue to advise you moving forward. People who know themselves, self-awareness, people who can be radically honest with themselves and take full responsibility and full accountability for their actions. A lot of the time people blame other people. They blame the market. They blame their coach. They blame their upbringing. They blame the recession, whatever it looks like. They blame external circumstances for their lack of results, which takes ultimate power over their situation. So they lose all the power and then they're like victims of life. And this goes well above and beyond just business. When you can take radical responsibility, look yourself in the mirror and say, you are the problem and you are the freaking solution, you get your power back. And then you can make more strategic actions in order to see the results. You can start to step back into the driver's seat of your life and your business and do what needs to be done in order to get to that next level. And I have experienced this multiple times. I call them dark nights of the souls, where I have to be honest with myself and say, girl, you ain't putting in the work. Your work ethic is not matching the success that you are desiring. And I've coasted like hitting back-to-back six-figure years. That's cool. I like it. But I want to be a multimillionaire. I want to run a multi-million-dollar company. My work ethic right now does not match what I want. So it's up to me to be honest with myself and start embodying the qualities that this person who is running this multi-million-dollar business, this CEO level badass, I need to be her now. And all of that is accessible. It's inside of me. So you have to think about who is that person that you want to be in the future. Maybe it's not multi-million-dollar business owner. Maybe it is just providing a six-figure salary for your family. Like, that's beautiful too. Who is that person who runs that? Do you currently have the habits and patterns, beliefs that get you to the next level that are required? Are you putting yourself in circles with other people who are at that level? Are you pressing snooze 10 times in the morning? What? That's not how you do one thing is how you do everything. And when you're honest with yourself about that, and then you look at the life that you're living, you realize I've got work to do. And I am saying this from so much experience because I had to get to that place. You don't deserve this yet. You haven't worked for it. And this is not me saying burn the candle at both ends and work so hard at the expense of your health. I'm a big boundary girly, okay? And I know how to shut off business. I know when I need to pour into myself, self-care, going to sleep early, working out. Like, I take a very holistic approach when it comes to building wealth and being successful. That way I can stay in the game long term. I've been an entrepreneur for almost 12 years now. And I have had so many dark nights of the soul in the last 12 years. And every single time I'm learning more, I'm refining myself more. I'm learning more about myself and how I can stay in the game. I'm going to be an entrepreneur forever. And it's never linear. Business is not ever freaking linear. So I know how to respond to those dips. I know how to act and who to be when I experience shit hitting the fan. If I don't sign a client, or if a client defaults on a payment, or I have to fire a team member, whatever that looks like. I know who I want to be in those moments, rooted in my values. So I know that I'm going to make decisions that I'm proud of that will keep me in the game long term. Again, that was a squirrely answer. Sorry.
I had to bite my tongue through a lot of that because I couldn't agree more. And a lot of your sayings, it's sayings that I say to myself too.
I love it.
One thing I hate to say too, like hard times or not being where I wanted to be, I'd always tell myself, there's this saying I say, it's this: in order to be the man, you have to be the man. Like, if I want to be the man, I'll be the man. I got to be the actions that it takes to get me those results that I'm after.
Yeah.
And yeah, you touched base on that, and I love that. I couldn't agree more. So
yeah, I love it. Embodiment. You got to embody who you want to become. It doesn't just happen.
Yeah, it's once I realized that nobody's coming to save me.
Yes.
You're in control. You're exactly where you're meant to be. And I can't really say meant to be. You're exactly where you're at because of your own actions. You're where you are in life because of your own actions and what you've done.
That is a powerful statement. Not a lot of people believe. And once they can, it's game over. It's game over. Everything is possible. It's perspective. It's all perspective. It's how you view the world. And you can view it through a more disempowered, scarcity, victim mindset. Totally. You can do that. You're going to keep perpetuating exactly where you're at now. And then you're going to use that evidence to validate the fact that, oh yeah, I'm not good enough, or I can't be rich. I can't be successful. You're going to continue to seek evidence. That's what our brain does. It like actively seeks evidence to validate our belief system. So if you don't believe it's possible, or if you believe that you're lazy or you're a procrastinator or any of these things, your brain is going to look for that. It's going to search the world and say, oh yeah, you're right. You're right. Look this is why we know this is true. The opposite is true too. When you believe all of this is possible, and this is woo, but this is also rooted in freaking evidence-based science shit. Okay. When you start to reprogram your subconscious beliefs, because they're deeply embedded, that we started to develop in childhood. That's how deep they go. When you can start challenging that and you can start reprogramming those beliefs, your body, your brain is going to start seeking evidence to validate those new beliefs. That's why you start to see more opportunities. That's why you start to see more conversations, more success, more growth, because your brain is getting reprogrammed. This is neuroplasticity. I'm not just talking out of my butt here. This is rooted in science. This is backed by evidence and research and scientists, the smart guys out there, okay? So anyway, again, my tangent.
Have you read The Power of the Subconscious Mind?
No, but it sounds freaking amazing.
Exactly what you just explained.
I
Exactly.
love it.
It's just stories about all of the scientific studies that they've done behind people thinking things into existence or thinking
Yeah.
situations and things like that into existence. It's crazy. Like
The
thinking
woo-woo
away.
call it manifesting.
Yep,
Yeah.
it is. I used to laugh at that, but it's so
Science.
true.
I know. And it's powerful. It is so powerful. I love it. And it's exciting. Everything is possible for us. Everything is freaking possible if you choose to believe that.
Yep. I literally used to laugh at that stuff, thinking everybody says that woo stuff. You can't scream yourself into being successful, but you can if you do it right. If you
Yeah.
believe you can.
Yes, absolutely. And I'd rather believe it than not believe it. I want to be successful. I got to believe it's possible in order for me to actually get there.
Yeah. If you haven't read that book, it's always a good kind of reminder as well, because what I did, I've read it 3 or 4 times now. And every time I read it, I do a little test with whenever I'm going through
I
or
love
whatever I'm
it.
doing in life at that time, I take it up a little bit. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I want to think this versus wait, track I was on, I can't exit. Take a
Yeah.
second. And man, things happen. They
It's
really
like
do.
cool.
I
Yeah, I
know.
do little tests like that too. Something small, like I'm going through a certificate or like a course on subconscious reprogramming. So they're little tests
Mm.
and just little things like, I know this is so dumb, but it's like getting princess parking. That's what we call it. Parking right at the front of wherever you're going. And I just started to expect it. And now every freaking time I go anywhere, I have princess parking. And it's just it's small. I know it's ridiculous, but it's also, okay, this is the power. Something's working. I'm more like on the strategy, evidence-based type of brain side than the spiritual, you know what I mean? But there are certain things that I'm just like, okay, I see that. That's cool. I love
I'll
that.
take
And
it. I'll take it.
yeah,
I'm
I'll
going to
take
turn it
it.
down.
I will take it. Yeah. But like even on a bigger level, like running a multi-million dollar business, like I know it's already going to happen because I already know that it's going to happen. There are certain things happening now that show me like, oh shit, this is possible. I'm like a freaking serial entrepreneur like you too. I have this business idea that I'm wanting to build and I ran the numbers and I create the pitch deck and I'm talking to developers and I'm getting in rooms with investors. And because last year I wrote so clearly, I'm going to be a CEO of a multi-million dollar company, my company. And so I believe that to be so true. Now, all of the things that are happening in this process, I'm just like, yeah, I'm expecting this almost. And that just changes because now there's no doubt. I'm not going to self-sabotage my way out of what I'm building because I already know that it's going to happen. That belief, that self-belief is no one else is going to believe in you, right? Like in this journey, you need to be your own source of self-belief because no one else is going to be like, you got to show up every day, right? You have to be that person. That's being an entrepreneur as a whole, that you are capable of creating success. There's no other option.
So it sounds like you've had your fair share of ups and downs.
Yes.
What could aspiring entrepreneurs learn from this?
Of my ups and downs, the faster that you can know yourself, the faster you'll achieve success. You can only go as deep in your business as you go with your own internal world. So I want you to know entrepreneurship is the best personal development vehicle of your entire existence if you choose for it to be. And if you don't, you're going to fall flat on your face over and over again and blame everyone else. And you're not going to see growth. You're not going to be successful and you're going to throw in the towel. I want more deeply than anything for people, especially in the coaching space, to be in the game 5 years from now because of the change that they facilitate in the world. Now, if they're not willing to look themselves in the mirror and have all those demons, limiting beliefs, childhood programming, trauma, all of that come up and face it head on, work through it, be honest with themselves, that is going to haunt you on this journey. That's just what happens when we are triggered, when we are in a challenging moment, all of that past shit is going to surface. And if you cannot work through it, heal it, learn from it, reprogram, you're not going to be a good leader. First of all, first and foremost, you're not going to be a good leader. People are going to resent you as a leader if you lead a team. You're not going to be authentic in the online space. That shit is going to seep out and eventually it's going to come after you and wreck your business. You're not going to be able to have great experiences with your clients because you're living incongruent to your values, right? There's so much that goes into it. So the faster that you can know who you are, learn more about you, your tendencies, your trauma, and how it manifests in your day-to-day life as an adult, as a business owner, the faster that you're going to see success in your business. Once you're healed, and it's an ongoing journey, but once you're on that journey, success just comes to you more easily because you're not resisting, you're not self-sabotaging, you're not getting in your own way as often. You can be more honest with yourself about your work ethic. Like I said earlier, I wouldn't have known all of this stuff if I was blind to my own humanness, right? So when I was able to develop that self-awareness, that was like 5 years ago. I started my personal development journey like 6 years ago. When I got to that space, it was painful. Like, it's really uncomfortable to be honest with yourself about like how you're fucking up or how you're not pulling your weight or how your work ethic sucks or you have bad habits or you're not good at communicating or you're XYZ. It's really uncomfortable. But when you are able to do that, you're able to take action towards overcoming it and have that growth that's necessary in order to keep moving forward. And business is uncomfortable. That's just the way of the law. When it comes to running a business, it's just inherently uncomfortable, inherently triggering, and that's a part of the game. So if you're willing to learn all of these things and be honest, you're going to be in the game long term.
Bri, where can people reach out to you?
I'm on the gram. Instagram is my place to hang. You can find me. I am Bri Norberg, BriNorberg. Yeah, send me a DM if you enjoyed this conversation and want to know more. I'm always in my DMs and it's me in there. I send voice notes all the time, so you can just reach me there.
Love it. Bri, I really appreciate you coming on today.
This is so fun. I really appreciate the opportunity. You seem like a cool guy, and this was absolutely one of my favorite conversations. So thank you.
Awesome. Appreciate it.